Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of 757 Business Spotlight, where we discuss and introduce small local businesses in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia. I'm your host, Joe Singleton, owner of Singtone Technologies, where we help our clients and partners from federal to local government agencies to private commercial business entities to improve operations, enhance cybersecurity, and modernize through technology. In today's episode, we are talking to Chris Jones of BBSI, a company that specializes in helping businesses simplify their operations through comprehensive HR, payroll, and risk management solutions. Thank you, Chris, for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here and excited.
Yeah, so I would love to just jump into it, and I know about you in the business, but the audience would like to learn more. So for those who are not familiar with what is BBSI and what sets it apart from other businesses with similar services?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, thanks for having me here. Excited to be able to share what I do and other small businesses in the area here with Joe today. So BBSI is a national company. We are in the service industry, and our products include payroll administration, health insurance, human resources, benefits, and a whole stream of technology solutions that include 401k and risk management. Mostly, though, BBSI is very well known for its people, as I'll go over today, and our teams that are dedicated to our clients.
Awesome. Thank you. So can you walk us through your core services and your ideal client?
Yeah, absolutely. So the clients it's kind of all over the place. We work with small to mid-sized business, though, typically. And we are about 70% in the blue collar field. That doesn't mean we can't do white collar. We have a ton of doctors' offices, law firms, but we really stay in the trades with plumbing and HVAC. Some of our core products are some of the ones I mentioned. We really focus on workers' compensation, helping clients reduce rates or their XMODs and rates and reduce claims as well. We deal with HR, so we have a massive infrastructure with HR helping small businesses hire employees, retain employees, fire if they have to, put preliminary actions in place. And then, of course, included with that, to have all those services bundled in, we have a payroll and we have a benefits, which offers a robust health insurance plan to our clients if that is necessary.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So you help out with small businesses who are looking to grow and
Absolutely.
take care of some of those services that they may or may not be able to have on staff.
Right. Yeah. So think of it as you get the $1 billion Fortune 500 company benefits for a 15-man company that you wouldn't normally be able to get at a price range you can afford with BBSI. That is our goal. We love companies that are growing. We love companies that are stalled and need to get back into that growth trajectory. We help with all of those.
Okay. Well, you mentioned workers' comp. I know here in the state of Virginia that you have to get your own workers' comp, unlike Ohio and I think Washington State, where it's a part of the state where you have to get it through the state.
That's correct.
So where does what BBSI do in regards to workers' comp versus what a state person or state mandated type of service?
Yeah, so they have state plans for workers' comp for newer businesses that maybe aren't getting underwritten because they are too new and have never shown, if their risk is going to be high or low. And so BBSI comes in and we take on all sorts of risk. We write our own workers' compensation on Chubb paper. So Chubb is our insurance backed provider, but we actually write our own rates and pay all of our own claims as well. So that's why we manage the claims. We use our risk and safety team to underwrite up front, and we help with any states. We don't do it in Ohio because it is a state mandated fund. But here in Virginia, we take care of it. And then in Maryland, we're self-insured. So we don't even use Chubb. We just pay all of our own claims. We're basically our own carrier. And so we are able to offer quite reduced rates for certain clients that we feel are necessary for that. And people who are struggling with their workers' comp and payroll, we can really help reduce their risk. Our goal is to de-risk a business. So if they have a lot of claims, if they're having a lot of issues with people getting injured on the job, or any fraudulent transaction or fraudulent workers' comp claims, we are there to help and maintain those claims and lower those claims as well to get that money back into the business so they can use it for other things.
Okay, yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I brought up workers' comp, because I know when I had to move the business from Ohio to here, one of the hardest things for me was like, okay, well, how do I do this worker comp thing?
Yeah, right.
It was a whole new ball of wax for me.
Right,
so
things you don't understand or know getting
yeah.
into business when you're doing tech or you're doing HVAC. The last thing you know is how to set up workers' comp plan and what the class codes are and how much that's going to cost and how does it tie into the payroll and the billing of everything. So yeah, that's where we come in and we make all those burdens go away and make it easier on our clients.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with having a one-stop shop.
No, there's not. There's not.
All right. So what are some of the biggest success stories for BBSI?
Yeah, so like I said, we're the 5th largest in the industry in what we do worldwide. We, in the Salisbury and Virginia branch, we've been here for about 20 years, and we've done over, this year we'll do close to $200 million in revenue. We have over 5,000 employees we pay out of our office. That is client employees. And so we've grown tremendously, and we are really going into the Hampton Roads with a lot of backing. We have an average tenure of 8 years for our clients, and our employees are actually an average about 10 years as well. So we have the best employees, the best people for the job, and we are just growing drastically in the Hampton Roads with all the success we've had in the Maryland office as well.
Oh, wow. Awesome. So how has BBS grown or evolved over the past few years? Especially since, after the pandemic.
Yeah. Good question. So what's pretty awesome is 2 years ago, we started offering health insurance benefits. That has gave us a major boost in the market because we now have a robust health plan that is a group health insurance that is, again, if you were a smaller business, you could not get into a group health plan with over 50 employees. So we give the 10-man, the 20-man, an opportunity to get much lower rates the rates don't change. And so we're able to give them a much better cost. And the employers also save a lot of money on that end too. So that's really helped us the last 2 years as we've been growing. We've seen double-digit numbers in the past 2 years because of those health insurance offerings from our sales reps across the country and as we're growing into the Hampton Roads.
Okay, so as it is now, there's been a lot of questions about like the Affordable Care Act and people who are using that as their benefits package. Is what BBSI do with that? Can that help with augment some of those issues that people may be experiencing depending upon how things go in the near future?
So there's going to be a lot of changes with the healthcare coming soon with legislation and just certain budget cuts. So it depends. To answer that, it's a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
So it would depend. We would have to meet with the client and dive deep on who's using what and what needs they're looking for with their health insurance plans. But in the general sense, if we have small businesses, companies, anywhere from 5 employees to 50 employees that are seeing massive health insurance rates go up, this would be the time to just at least take a look and see what BBSI can offer to help them with their health insurance to save them money and get more aggressive plans, zero cost deductible or zero cost copays, low deductibles. And we have high deductible plans too. We have everything that our clients would need. We have over 50 different health insurance plans that they can choose from. And so it's really sitting down and seeing what they need and how we can help.
Yeah, so they definitely need to reach out.
Yeah, especially if they're seeing high rates. Our renewal rates are typically in the mid to they're under single digits. So you see a lot of renewals at 15, 20% this year, maybe 25 or 30%. And when we're talking on a $300,000 healthcare plan for 40 people, 20% is quite a significant amount of money. Yes. That's $60,000. So with our rates being single digits, we're talking 8%. You take that on a $300,000 plan and you are saving a lot of money per year, and not just per year. You might be saving it on your health plans too, because they may be more beneficial. And again, it's a case by case, depends on the client and the business. But it doesn't hurt to take a look.
Yeah, definitely. I think somebody have told me before who does like house and car insurance. Like every year you should shop around. You never know.
You never know.
You
You
might get
never
a
know
better
with the
deal.
rates. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah. So one of the things, bbsi.com, you definitely want to go there, schedule appointments, and find out some more information on that. And I believe you're going to give more information on that later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what does client success look like to you?
So our client success to me is a business that we help add value and solve problems. We want to help as many issues or problems that a business owner runs into as we can. With a local presence, we come into the branches or the offices of these business owners and we sit down with them with a consultative approach to see what is going on, how's the employee handbook looking, termination policies, return to work absences. We look at everything to help that business scale. So a success to me is a client that comes on that's happy with our service, that gives a good testimonial, and is able to grow or stay where they want to be with less headache.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand. Like you brought up the employee handbook. It's one of those things that people don't think about. It's like on the back burner, like in the back of their mind. You got to put those policies in place to understand and make sure that not only the company knows how to deal with issues that may arise, but how employees know how to deal with issues that may arise.
Right. The employee handbook is one for the employees, but heavily for the employers too. In cases of lawsuits, workers' comp claims, unemployment claims, having that handbook is going to protect the employer. That is really the main line of protection the employer has. Mm-hmm. So having one is very important in place. We help write those and take a look at those. Adding policies and procedures should be, recurring every year. And so that's just one part of the HR that we really do help facilitate. That's really a base level type of HR that we help with. We make sure that's in line, and then we consult and go up from there with what the client needs.
Oh yeah, you got to start from ground zero.
Right. We got to make sure the building blocks are there, and then
exactly get
the
that
bricks
foundation.
Exactly. If the foundation's not there, we are working on the roof, and that's just going to fall on top. So
exactly,
we do want to make sure that is in place. The employee handbook is one of those that have to be there, and a lot of employers don't realize it. And it's little things like that. It's little things like the employee handbook and workers' comp. And then when someone gets hurt, they have these massive claims. And with the workers' comp, with our payroll, just to touch base, we don't have an audit, and we have a pay-as-you-go system. With workers' comp, a lot of people have to put an upfront payment, and then at the end of the year, if they did better or worse, they have to pay more or less to finish out the year for their workers' comp. With us, it adjusts throughout the year since we're doing the billing, and there is no audit and there is no upfront payment, nor is there an end-year payment. It's just per month based on the payroll liability. So that's really the main point of what we do with the payroll and how we're able to decrease that risk and stabilize cash flow.
Okay. Right. Awesome. So another question, I don't think I ever asked you before, but those compliance posters, the federal and the state.
Yeah.
Does BBSI help with those as well?
Yeah, we make sure our clients have those up. The state and federal compliance posters, by law, they have to be up in the building. So we make sure that those are sent out and up in our clients' offices. Our risk and safety managers, when they go in to underwrite the workers' comp and look at the business as a whole, they ensure those are in there along with the employee handbook. And the HR consultant helps with that too. So absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are big importance.
So are there any hidden fees or surprises business owners should know about?
So with BBSI, it is based on the client, and there are no hidden fees. We're very upfront about anything that we're charging. We do a breakdown in our proposals, and we can do carve-outs too. A big thing that's different between us and, like, let's say ADP or Paychex is we can carve out anything we need to. If someone just needs HR and risk and safety management, we can do that. If someone just needs the workers' comp and the pay-as-you-go for the payroll, we can do that. If someone just needs the health benefits and the payroll side and the HR, we can do that. We can bundle everything in together, or we can carve as many things out as needed, which allows our clients to be more flexible in what they're looking for and either add on as they are growing or decrease when they see a need for that.
Yeah. And being former Air Force, the flexibility is the key to air power.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah. As you're scaling, you have to have to be able to be flexible, and we are as flexible as we can be with our clients. If they find better health insurance rates and they're with us for the health insurance, but they stay for the HR and the risk safety, they could still utilize us for those things and go somewhere else for the health insurance. Same for the workers' comp. And so they have that flexibility to always come back and stay with us for the health insurance, but we can still facilitate that payroll, HR, and risk and safety for them.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So in an industry like staffing, HR, are there any tricky issues? How does BBSI handle that risk compliance and the employee relations as a whole?
Yeah, there's a lot, and it's crazy how much we run across. My team always says the farmers quote, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. And here at BBSI, that's pretty similar in the regards to my team deals with the handling the risk. We have a risk and safety consultant that flies out, drives out wherever our clients are located that I bring on to our Maryland and Virginia branch. They fly out to them and they meet with them quarterly. These people are going to go over, these clients are going to explain to our risk managers what has happened, what procedures they have in place. If it's an HVAC company, they're going to do a look around the property, around the business. So they handle this risk by de-risking. If they're having a lot of claims with someone getting their finger cut on one of the machines, well, we're going to take a look at the machine. Why is this machine cutting multiple people's hands and we're getting so many workers' comp claims for that? Can we reduce that by saying, hey, let's look at this machine. This machine's broken. We need to replace it. We cannot have people using this machine. So we need to replace this machine to reduce the claims for the workers' comp and reduce your rate. So we're saving you money and making sure your employees stay safe. So that's one of the ways we handle risk, by looking at the gaps the business may have from a risk standpoint and putting those procedures in place. For compliance and employee relations, we do everything from onboarding to hiring to assisting employees with termination letters, with termination procedures. So there's a long list of termination policies that have to be in place, paperwork that you have to do. Was there verbal warnings? If you're in sales, was there a performance review done multiple times before the firing? What is in place to make sure that employer is safe from any type of lawsuit, workers' comp claim if they're hurt, or unemployment claim? And so we go through all that with our employers and our clients.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people, especially me, because don't really like paperwork, but the paperwork is very important, though. Like you said, it minimizes the risks towards the company in regards to any potential lawsuits coming from maybe a potential former employee or any other retaliatory type of action that may come from the top down or from the bottom up.
Right.
And so, but I do want to circle back to the losing fingers on pieces of equipment. You would hope that they would figure that out before.
You would hope so. You would hope so. And it's crazy. There's fluke accidents. We had a guy, there was a pelican that picked up a crab, and they were out near a shipping dock.
You're talking about the bird?
The bird.
Okay.
And the bird picked up the crab, and it fell, and it landed on a man's head from, I guess, 100 feet up. So the bird dropped the crab, it hit the guy in the head, and that was a workers' comp claim. Fairly interesting. I can't remember if it was fairly significant or not, but he had to be out of work and he had to go to the hospital because a crab landed on his head from 50 feet up or whatever, and he was bleeding. So where was the hard hat? Did he need a hard hat? Also, you really can't prevent a crab falling out of a pelican's grip in the middle of the air. So BBSI will look at those cases too. If a client has, we call it a shock loss. It's if something crazy and unfathomable happens, like let's say in a law firm, someone gets their leg chopped off because something crazy happened. We can actually take that claim away and underwrite them without that claim in there, which will reduce their rate heavily.
Oh, okay.
So we
outliers.
do exactly. It's an outlier. It's something that usually would not happen in construction. There's going to be a lot of claims, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to have guys hurting themselves left and right, but you're not going to have someone die. If you do, that is a shock loss, and that claim's going to go up 3 or 4 times whatever that amount was. So if it's $100,000 premium, it's going to be $400,000 next year. So let's take that out. What can BBSI underwrite them as? And so that's where we can help clients help them save money. But then we also have to put our risk and safety team on that site and say, hey, what are we not going to do? What have we learned from this, and where can we help and provide?
Okay. So another question. So I know you're talking about risk, but a part of that reducing risk is training as well.
Correct.
So do you help with training manuals?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's where the HR consultant comes in and the risk and safety team. They actually kind of go hand in hand there. We do training modules. We do trainings on site with the employees for those types of issues. And we put LMSs, learning modules in place for the employees when they're onboarding. And then we have the right paperwork in place too. So these employees are signing the correct documents so the employer is not liable other than, for the compensation for the workers' comp. So we do have trainings in place, and those are very important when you have, especially a blue collar business. Our risk and safety and HR consultants, they come on site for those. Yeah.
Okay.
Every quarter, typically.
Oh, yeah, I can see a lot of people. It's like I hit my hammer on the head with the thumb instead of the nail.
Right. Now I don't know. Our risk and safety aren't teaching people how to hammer, but they're going to say, "Hey, someone needs to teach this guy how to hammer. Why is he on this job when this man's hitting his thumb 100 times over with a hammer?" So yeah, we will call those things out. And you would think some of this stuff would be obvious. People are like, "Oh, I could do that. I run a 10-man shop. I can do this." Well, what we want to do is we want to take the things you didn't go into business to do and help you with those so you can do the things you're good at, which is running the business, whether you're doing the books, whether you're getting new clients, getting new prospects, bidding on new jobs. You don't want to worry about a guy hitting his hand on a hammer when we can train a team to make sure he doesn't hit his hand with a hammer.
Or just get him a nail gun.
Or get him a nail gun. There you go. Depending on the safety on those too. So that's exactly those are the type of conversations, that small to much larger ones too, depending on what they're doing. We help clients with litigation if they need it. So if clients are being sued or need to go to court, we help with that. If we have people out on workers' comp claims from something they had at work, we help them return to work. And there's a lot of filing and paperwork to do with that. We ensure the workers' comp is in place to stop paying out. And the longer they're out of work, the more the workers' compensation has to be paid out. So BBSI, since we are self-insured, we take that liability on and we're paying that workers' comp. And as the more we're paying to that and the longer they're out, the more likelihood the employer is going to have a higher rate next year and going to be paying more money for workers' comp because he had to pay more money for his employee being out. So we really try to get them back to work as quickly as possible. And we try to get them doing tasks at work that won't undermine their injury. So if someone had a head injury and they can't do certain things, we will have them doing desk work, not back on the machines where they got hurt in the first place, but we will have them at work finding them to do something to help reduce those worker comp claims.
It makes perfect sense.
So
I remember a story when I was working at the wind tunnels. They get pretty loud.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a person who was deaf. And the safety inspector comes in and says, "Hey, why doesn't this person have muffs on his ears?" Because he's legally deaf.
Wow.
And
Wow. Yeah.
So it's like,
he didn't have,
he doesn't really need them.
Wow.
So
that's unique. Again, you find those situations, and that would be one of those where, what's the liability on him not having them if he's deaf?
Yeah, that's a good question. All right, so the most important is, what's the first step for a small business who's curious and want to learn more and want to work with BBSI?
Yeah, so it's always a great time to have a conversation with me to see what your small business may need. But what I tell my clients and prospect clients and partners that send me business is, look for if you're having issues, if you're having major issues with your workers' comp, if you're having major turnover, if you were having major issues with your HR department and you're not able to hire enough people, or you're not able to find the right candidates, or you can't keep the right candidates. We like to be a solution-based, value-based oriented company. And so if it's something minor, I'd love to talk to you about. But if everything's running smooth, you're really happy, let's say with a small payroll company and you have nothing going on, we can always still talk. But we really want to get with business owners that want to scale their business. They want to grow their company. And they are going to have growing pains, or they notice these growing pains already, and we want to talk to them. We really want to help them and get those solutions under wraps so they can focus on doing what they do best, whether that's making money or helping their clients or doing what they love as an artist running an art museum. We want to do all those things. And so if they have any problems, any issues, even small minor questions that are on their mind, like, hey, if this came up, would I be in a safe place? That is the best way to reach out to me. Or if your health insurance or workers' comp rates have gone through the roof, I want to help you save money too. So that's another option.
Yeah, and I want to reiterate that again. So even though you may be a fine-tuned running machine, you may not know where you can improve your processes
Right.
even more. So it'll still be beneficial to reach out.
Right.
Just ask the question, like, this is what I'm doing now. Is there anything that could be done better? And as you said, you're solution based, so you will be able to take a look at their current processes, determine what they can do better, and then provide feedback on how to do things better.
Right.
And
Yeah.
potentially save money.
We want to know all the nitty and gritty, and we want to know it before it happens. We have clients who have gotten, in the workplace sexual harassment charges, and they've had to go to court and write $30,000, $40,000, $80,000 checks. We've had clients who have had audits on their workers' comp where they've had to write $70,000 checks at the end of the year, and that wasn't, critiqued throughout the year while they were doing their payroll. So we want to get in front of those. Typically, unfortunately, a lot of my clients that I bring on, we're on the aftermath. They're like, this just happened. And I'm like, well, there's nothing we can do about it now, but let's not let it happen again. But we want to make sure those things are in place so it never happens, if that can be the case. And as a business is growing, that's when those problems will start to arise. Typically, you can never tell when, but BBSI, we try to look and find when those particular items for risk and HR really start to become an issue at either what employee count, what revenue they're making, whether it's a family-owned business kind of turning into a corporate business. Those are what we see a lot of, where it's a 3-man company, they're a family. Now they have 40 employees in 3 locations, and they're still running it like they're a family, talking to each other as if they're not employees instead of, and they think they're all a family, but you say something wrong to one employee and now you have a lawsuit on your hands because they're not your family. They're not what you can say to your brother, and you can't say certain things to your brother in front of your employees that you used to be able to do when you were a 3-man shop starting out as a family. So we want to help those companies. We want to be there and be their structure and be that I can't say it enough. Our people is what makes BBSI our on-site support. The phone call, you need payroll, HR help. You pick up a phone, they'll answer, within 10 seconds. You have their cell phone, you can text them. We have a dedicated team that is in office, and you can go and meet them, or they'll come meet you. And I think that's what really makes BBSI the difference. People in our product.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, the product kind of sells itself, and the people is there just to help it.
Exactly.
Along.
Yeah. Yeah. And for the right business, it really does.
Okay. So where can people go to learn more? Even speak with someone, maybe you directly.
Yes, you can go to bbsi.com and go into the Salisbury branch, Salisbury, Maryland. My contact information is up there, and so is my area managers. And you can get a little more information about BBSI. But if you want to reach out to me directly at chris.jones@bbsi.com, I can send you some information like this that has some cool info about our team. And I can set up a consultative meeting to go over with you what your business is doing, what you're looking for. And really, when I meet with my prospect clients and my clients, I'm here to help. There are certain businesses we have to turn away. There's certain businesses that we want to work with, and it's a great fit. Not everybody fits into our mold, and not everybody wants to fit into our mold. But the businesses that do, the blue-collar industry, the certain white-collar industry, the small to mid-sized business that fits into BBSI's mold, they love it, and they really see the value, and it really helps their business scale to unbelievable amounts.
Yeah.
Without any worry on their end. We take a lot of the risk off, which is great.
Yeah. So one of the things that I learned when I first started Singtone is on the road of entrepreneurship, there's going to be potholes.
Yes.
And a company like BBSI is going to help you navigate those potholes,
right,
and steer around them or fill them in before they even get to where you actually see them.
That's a great analogy. Yeah, we want to mitigate the potholes as much as we can. And the more the business owner shares with us, the more potholes we can fill up. And that way they are not destroying their shocks.
Or tires.
Or struts. Yeah, whatever. I'm not a mechanic, but whatever's on the bottom of that car that's getting drilled, we want to help.
That's including nails and tacks and screws and anything else that can puncture a tire too. So.
Right, exactly. So, yes, that's a great analogy. That's exactly right.
Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate you taking the time, and hopefully everybody learned more about what BBSI does and the importance of shopping around for your insurance, especially workers' comp. The HR side of things is what's very important when running a successful business.
Yeah.
And yeah, so reach out. BBSI.com. That's Bravo Sierra Indigo.com. And then Chris.Jones
Yep.
at BBSI.com.
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate you having me here today.
Yeah. So like, subscribe, follow for more content, and learn more about businesses here in the 757 Hampton Roads area of Virginia. And we'll be back with another episode soon. And thanks again, Chris.
Yeah.
And love to have you come back, and we can have some more conversations, and we can probably ask more questions, and you can enlighten us more about other things that BBSI does as well.
Absolutely. I'd love to. Thank you, guys, and thanks for tuning in.
Appreciate it. And if you are a business in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia and would like to be featured on the 757 Business Spotlight podcast, please reach out to me, Joe Singleton, at jsingleton@singtonellc.com. That is sing as in singing a song, tone of my voice, llc.com. Again, that's jsingleton@singtonellc.com. Or you can reach me at 757-504-0678. Again, that's 757-504-0678. Thank you for listening, and I hope you had fun, and stay tuned for our next episode.